I started. Thank you. It is 9/11. That's why I had to hit start, because 911 in America means help. And that's what I'm about to talk about tonight. Yeah, help. Now let me.
They say 1911 faster than 911. You know what 1911 is?
What? Hey everybody. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in.
God faster than both of
Welcome in, welcome in. It was important that I started at 9/11. And in America, that's the button for help. Whatever you need, you dial 911, and all of a sudden, the ambulance or the police or whoever will come directly to you because you're in distress. It's a distress call here. So I started tonight at 9/11 over here. And yeah. So I wrote this down when I was on my break at work. Really quick. It's 2 pages, and I was listening to the Bible while I was on break. I just had it playing audibly in my ear, and it went to Exodus. And I'm just laughing because every day, thank you, every day this week, God has had me in Exodus. And whenever he has me in Exodus, it's because he's about to do something very, very fast, one, and he's going to do something very powerful. So whenever I see Exodus, I know that it's an exiting of something in your life, something that doesn't, fit you anymore. It's time for you to move on in your life. It's time for chapters to close. It's literally time for a new change. And bondage, or whatever had you in bondage, whether you were in financial lack, whether you were in bondage at work or family or whatever, it's time to let go. I normally preach about Exodus in the very beginning of the year, most of the time every January, and I just go throughout. So it's kind of unusual for me to preach Exodus towards the ending of the year. But God is just having me stuck here, and I can't get out of Exodus right now. And tonight I'm going to be in Exodus 6. Yesterday we were in 3 and 4. Tonight we're going to be in Exodus 6. And it was only one statement that came to me. Like, I heard the whole book as it was reading to me, but I couldn't get off of Exodus 6 and verse 9. I'm going to read a little bit more of that to give you context, but Exodus 6 and 9 had me stuck, and it had me in a chokehold because it gave me a insight on how we are all feeling right now in this present time. And it was just so important that I tune in or hone in on this version. That way, we can all start having some sense to what we're going through, and knowing that God is about to come in and rescue his children. Now, my rescue and your rescue might be 2 different things. Your rescue might be financially, mine might be job opportunities or opportunities in general, or just one move. It doesn't matter what your rescue is. Whatever it is, God says that he has a fix for it. He's going to redeem you. He's going to rescue you. No matter what it is, even though it's different from everybody else's, he still knows you. Just like a mother knows each and every one of her children's cry. You know if it's important, you know if it's less important, and you just got to get there right now. And God is saying your cries have to be answered right now, right now, right now. I feel tonight that some people need God to move just like that. Like, you can't wait another minute. You can't wait another second. You need God to move just like this. And I know if I ask who needs prayer, and people are going to say, I need prayer over my finances, this and that. But God is saying it's deeper than what you can actually see. What he's going to do, ooh, that song playing in the background. Yes, Lord. But God is saying that he's going to do it because it's deeper. He has to move you or he's going to lose you. And he's not going to lose one. He's not going to lose one. Understand that. You are so valuable to God that he's not going to lose one. He don't practice in losing. I'm sorry. God isn't a loser. He's not going to lose you. And he will do whatever he needs to do to get your hope back again. He will do whatever it takes to get you back again. He'll leave the 99 to come get that one. You're lost. You feel stranded. You feel alone. You feel abandoned. You feel like no one cares. But God is saying, I left the 99 behind to come get you. I left the 99 behind to come get you. It was important that I leave the 99 to come get you. I need you to know that you're just that important. I need you to know that you're just that important. That I will leave every last one of them to come get you. Maybe you need a little bit more attention. So I need to leave them to come get you. They're okay. I'm leaving them. I'm not abandoning them. I'm leaving them in safe hands. I'm leaving them in safekeeping. I'm leaving them because I know that they're okay. But I know that my children are suffering. And I got to come rescue you. I got to come rescue you. That's how important you are to God. He will drop everything to come get you. Now, I got 2 different versions of the Bible. I really needed 3, but it's okay. We'll do 2. There was one word that I was listening to that was a little bit different from what I have here, but I'm going to read both versions so we can get some context behind it, okay? Let me see. So in Exodus 6, I'm going to go up a little bit and then I'm going to come down to 9. So Exodus 6, I'm going to start with 6 and 5. It says, and I have also heard the groanings of my children of Israel, whom Egypt has kept in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Therefore say to the children of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. I will rescue you from their bondage, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments. I will take you as my people, and I will be your God. Then you should know that I am the Lord your God, who brings you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. And I will bring you into the land which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and I will give it to you as an heritage. I am the Lord. So Moses spoke this to the children of Israel, but they did not heed Moses because of the anguish of spirit and cruel bondage. Now I'm going to read that last part in a different version because verse 9 is important. It says, Moses reported this to Israel, but they did not listen to him because of their discouragement and cruel bondage. So let me break that down. Let me break that down really quick. God told him, go tell the children of Israel that I've heard their cries. I see that they're in bondage. I'm coming to get them. I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I will rescue them. I will redeem them. So he's telling Moses to go tell them this, right? But Moses went and told them, but they did not believe him because of their broken spirit and harsh labor. Or they've been in bondage for so long that they don't have the spirit. Their spirit has literally been beaten out of them. They don't have any hope left. The little bit of hope they did have, it got whipped out of them. It got beaten out of them. The little bit of spirit they had left to believe, it got taken from them. They didn't know how to believe in God again. Even when God sent someone that was so powerful and so anointed to come tell them the good news, they couldn't receive the good news because it had been beaten out of them for over 400 years. And every time they believed that this was going to be my year, it got whipped out of them again. Every time that they thought that this was their season, the season never came. Never came. And they kept the faith. But their faith kept wavering year after year after year, to the century, to a decade. They had no more hope left. The little bit of God they did believe in, the Pharaoh beat it out of them and said, where is your God now? As they began to look to the hills and no help came, they began to be faithless and hopeless. And their spirit began to get drained. Moses was preaching to the choir, but the choir wasn't there. He was prophesying to the people, but the people wasn't there. Have you ever been in a season where you hear prophecy after prophecy and you like, I want to claim it. I want to say this mine. I want to say this my season. I want to say it's me. I'm the man for the job. I want to say it's me. I'm the woman for the job. But Lord, every time I say it, God, I get beat back down. Every time I say it, God. Every time I believe, God, it gets beat back down. God, I don't got no spirits no more. You saying you gonna redeem me and renew me. God, I was here praying for you. Where were you, God? Where were you? Where were you when I'm claiming these seasons and I'm walking on faith and I'm saying this me? Ooh, Lord, this me. But then everyone around me gets blessed and I get left in the dust. Everyone else gets free, but I'm still in bondage. Everyone else is getting the jobs, but I'm still here. And I can't leave because I got bills and I got kids and I don't want to be all the way in poverty, but I'm watching everyone get promoted and I'm standing still. God, when is it going to be my turn? God, when is it going to be my turn? The Israelites were broken. They were broken. They didn't have hope. So when Moses came there saying he was the man that were going to deliver them, they were like, yeah, all right. Which prophet are you? Yeah, all right. What ministry you got? Yeah, all right. Which God going to help us now? Yeah, all right. What you going to do this time? Yeah, all right. I heard this before. I seen the mega church. What you want me to sow into you? What you want me to do? Believe and share this 3 times and like, comment, and subscribe? What you want me to do? I've heard it all before. The other pastor said it, and the other pastor said it, and the other prophet said it. Sow seed here, sow seed there. I done sowed seed everywhere. And I'm tired. And I'm tired. That's how they were feeling. They were done. They couldn't hear one more word. They couldn't take hearing one more word. They were broken. It said their spirit was broken. It was broken. God knew that he had to love them gently. He knew he had to love them gently. He knew that he had to go in and love on them correctly. Otherwise, he would have lost them. He knew the world had beaten them down till they weren't even recognized anymore. So he knew he had to come in and love them the right way. God is saying this season, he knows that you've been lied to. He knows that you done sold into this ministry and that ministry. He knows that you done heard this prophet say this and this prophet say that. He knows, he knows, he knows. He knows. But he says he's not going to lose one. He's not going to lose one. And he knows if he comes on too strong, you're going to resist him. But if he comes on too light, you're going to miss him. So he has to come in the right way because God wants to love you again. He wants to dance with you again. He wants you to know him again. He knows you. And he knows exactly what you need. And he has some people that were made for such a time as this to love you back to life again. Everything that you went through, it broke you in a spirit. It broke you financially. It broke you mentally. But God is saying, just like I redeemed and restored and renewed them, I'm going to do the same to you. It is written. It is written. You can't take one more prophet lie. You can't take one more. You put your hope and your trust out here just for it to be taken advantage of, or just for some people to talk to you all recklessly on the internet, just for people to be talking to you all crazy. God says, no, I'm not going to lose you. I know what you need. I hear your cries. I hear your cries. And I'm coming in. I wrote this down. It's hard to see hope when you're living in hopelessness. It's hard when you want help, but no help has come. It's hard to believe when you see no change. They were broken. They were wounded. They were defeated. Let me flip that. You were broken. You were wounded. You were defeated. It's hard for you to see hope when you're living in hopelessness. It's hard for you to ask for help when you don't see help coming. It's hard for you to believe when you don't see change. It's hard. I know. I understand. I get it. And so does God. They were simply drained and tired and afraid to believe again. I'm going to flip it again. You are drained, simply drained. You're tired, and you are afraid to believe again. God knows. God feels. God sees. And he's coming. And he's coming. God says that he's bringing hope to the hopeless. He's bringing belief to the unbelieving. He's bringing in healing to the broken. He's bringing life to the lifeless. God hears your cries. God hears your cries. Even the ones that don't have tears falling. Even the ones that your heart can't utter. Even the ones that your mouth can't utter. God hears it all. And he's coming. I don't know who's been lying to you. I don't know who's been using you. I don't know who's been abusing you. And I don't know who just not even believing in you, thinking that you're still your past, even though the past has happened. They don't want to let go, and they have this stigma about you, saying that you'll never change, even though they expect you to believe that they changed. When they were liars, thieves, convicts, they did all of these things, and they think that you can't change because you have no redeeming qualities. Crazy. Every day the world changes. I love to say Monday turns to Tuesday, Tuesday turns to Wednesday, Wednesday turns to Thursday. Every day changes. 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3, 3 goes to 4. Everything changes. So who are they to say that you can't change? And when God does it, he does it like that. Just like that. They can't tell God what to do. See, Pharaoh thought that since they had been enslaved for over 400 years, that they were going to continue to be those slaves. They were going to be slaves till they died, according to Pharaoh. They were his property. They were his property. And he wasn't going to let God's people go because he felt like they were his. And who are they other than slaves? But this is what I gather whenever I hear the word slave and I think about slavery. They were only slaves out of the Pharaoh's mouths because he knew that he had to keep that word curse on them. Because if he called them by their name, they will start moving accordingly. If he called them kings and queens, they would stick up their chests and their chin out and they would walk like royalty. If they called them doctors and lawyers and whatever, they would start walking that way. So he couldn't call them what they really were. He had to put a curse on them and call them that and beat it into them. And beat it into them until they start believing that they were slaves and not kings, and not queens, and not royalty. He had to beat the hope out of them. And he had to make sure he put a word curse on them. But everything has a season, and everything has a time. And the time for them being slaves were over. And the time for them being slaves were over. And the time for you being a slave to fear, bondage, hopelessness is over. The time of you being a slave is over. To the 9 to 5, to this matrix, to the expectations of what they thought, to their word curses. The time is over. I'm going to call you as God called you, royalty, a royal priesthood. I'm going to call you what God calls you. I'm going to speak to you the way God speaks to you. Because they don't want you to know that you're no longer a slave. They don't want you to know that you're no longer a slave. SLAVE is what they want to bind around your neck and for you to know your place. They want you to know your place. Well, I'm going to tell you where your place is. You have royalty in your DNA. It is written. It is written. They don't want you to know. You know, the one thing I've always loved about learning about slavery and me being a black woman is the fact that they were afraid for them to read and write. So they had them sign their name off in an X. That's how they signed off. Because they were afraid if they read that they'll have knowledge. And knowledge is power. What's stopping you from reading this knowledge? What's stopping you from reading this knowledge? Read who you are. Know who you are. You have royalty running through your veins. You have royalty running through your veins. You are no longer bound. You are no longer a slave. You are no longer in poverty and lack. Do you know who your father is? Do you know who your father is? Because if you knew, every time that they would tell you that you're something, you would reject it and send it back. You would reject it and send it back. Stop accepting what they say you're supposed to be. They want you to believe that you're a slave and to walk and to talk like that. And when you're working in the matrix or when you're working in the corporate environments or any kind of 9 to 5 job, it's a culture that you have to be in. It's a fake culture. I almost call it a cult culture. And everyone has to laugh on cue and smile on cue and walk on cue and talk on cue. And everyone, has this version of what they want you to be in their business, to make 9 to 5 money or whatever. And I remember at one point in one of my jobs, they had a guide for the holiday season. And they picked it up and they said, This is your Bible for the holiday. You can't lose it. This is your Bible. And I rejected it. And I said, no, this is a guide. This is a study guide. And I'll read it as such. But this isn't my Bible. I don't know what y'all got going on. But count me out. Because this is man-made. God ain't had no parts of this. This is just to help you with your customers. This isn't my Bible. And I rejected it just like that. And they looked at me like, we were just using terminology. Like, why did you act like that? It wasn't even that deep. It was that deep. Because what you accept is what will happen. I rejected it. And all of a sudden, I was cut out of the cult culture. And they went to talking about me. And then they tried to fire me. And honestly, that job, it did fire me for like 3 days. And they called me back because I was like, oh, I got some lawyers on it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway. I rejected it because I didn't want to fit in with their culture. And every job that I go to, or every job that I work at, I always reject the way they want you to be. Because why can't I be myself if I'm professional? Why do I have to laugh on cue and talk on cue and smile on cue? Why do I have to be like a cue card? Why can't I have my own personality and still fit in? But when you have the oil of God on you, you stand out. You stand out. And they don't like that. You are made to stand out. Always. I'm not accepted in a lot of places, and I'm okay with that. You have to be okay with not fitting in. You have to be okay with not fitting in. You are different. God designed you different. You might not be everybody's cup of tea, but you're God's child. You're God's chosen. Never forget that. So I'm not going to be long, and I'm about to wrap it up. I just knew that I had to write that down and had to tell you guys about this because God feels the groaning pains. God feels the tears. God feels the hopelessness, the helplessness. God feels all of the above. And I just feel like I need to go back and tell you what he said that he was going to do. In Exodus 6:6, it says, therefore, say to my children that I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. I will rescue you from their bondage, and I will redeem you with outstretched arm and with great judgment. God will redeem you, and he will rescue you. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you are. God will rescue you. I started this video out and this live stream out at 9/11. Help is on the way. Help is on the way. For me to be reading Exodus this late in the year, I'm just looking at the top of my Bible. It says, let my people go. If I can get it in the camera. Let my people go. Let my people go. Crazy. Let my people go. Come on, God. Some people are about to answer for how they mishandled you. Some people are about to answer to God about how they kept you in bondage. Some people are about to answer to God about putting their mouths on you. This is your freedom season, but God is about to do something to the people that did something to you. As Moses said to the Israelites as they looked out at the sea, this is how I'm going to close it out. As Moses said to them when they looked hopeless, when they looked like no one was coming in, when they looked at the Red Sea like, did you bring us out here to drown? We don't know how to swim. And they heard Pharaoh and the whips and the chains and the horses and the chariots coming behind them. As they looked at Moses for hope, Moses looked to God and he's like, what do I do? I love how God answered back to Moses, why are you asking me? Moses forgot that God gave him all the authority. God told Moses before he sent them, you will be like a god to Pharaoh. He forgot when he got down there to the Red Sea that God had already given him authority. All he had to do was use it. I say this to you as God said to Moses, what are you asking me for? Don't you know that you have authority? Don't you know that you have a dominion? But God then told him to stretch out your rod to the Red Sea, and it began to part. And I love this part right here as they begin to walk through on dry ground. The Egyptians you see today, you will no longer see. Whatever you've been facing today, you will no longer see. Whatever has been chasing you, you will no longer see. Whatever has been hounding you, you will no longer see. Stretch out your rod, Moses. Stretch out your rod. Stretch it out. Moses, what are you asking me for, Moses? Did I not tell you that you would be like a god to Pharaoh? Did I not tell you that? Did I not tell you to go tell him to let my people go? You think I brought you this far to only bring you this far? I will finish what I started. I will complete what I started. I'm not going to let you come all the way out here and that be that. I'm not bringing you this far to only bring you this far. I will finish what I started. Stretch out your rod, Moses. Stretch out your rod, Moses. What do you see? God, I see the Red Sea in front of me, and it looks so big and so vast. Open your eyes, Moses. What do you see? I see the water parted. I see something I never seen before, God. Walk, Moses. Walk. Tell the people to walk. The sea won't close until the last foot is on dry ground. And when it closes up, the enemies you see today, you won't no longer see. Walk, Moses. Walk. Did I not give you authority? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You're walking in your breakthrough. I love you all. I'm signing off. About to get my bath. That's what God gave me. I got to give it to you guys. I pray this message was a blessing. And I pray that you know who you are. And don't forget, you are no longer a slave. You are free. And if God set you free, my darlings, you're free indeed. Go in peace. Have a good night.